we're on the second half of our course,
Yep.
which doesn't mean it doesn't mean that at the end of 2 weeks you'll just it's like, oh, I've learned Arabic, like I've learned everything. There's obviously not. This experiment is just to see how much can a person learn in 2 weeks.
Man, I'm still learning English after all these years. So
The learning is never done
yes.
in anything, right? I think that the goal will be that we develop this list of questions and then I go through these questions and I ask you them and then you respond to them, kind of like an OPI. How have has the pendulum swung back and forth between creative mode and survival mode?
Yesterday was pretty much survival mode.
Yeah,
Even
that's the depth.
yeah, go ahead.
That's the depth of survival mode.
Yeah, it is.
Dude, I thought of something yesterday after the conversation with Reem. It's this thing that it's like my favorite thing of all things. It's a Taoist anecdote, like parable, right? It's called the Taoist Butcher.
Okay.
So there is a butcher who cuts usually like ox and cows and bulls or something, right? And the emperor of the country for some reason thinks like he's heard that this butcher is like very wise, right? The emperor wants to meet him and understand like why is this guy considered wise, right? And the emperor goes to the butcher and watches him as he's kind of like working in cutting, right? And the guy's like, so what's the deal here? And the butcher is like, most butchers have to sharpen their knife pretty much every day after they work, right? Because they're hacking against the bones. A good butcher only has to sharpen it once a week, or like a master butcher, like only once a month because they're better. He says, I have never sharpened my knife. I sharpened it the first time, like 20, 30 years, 50 years ago, or whatever. And I've been using the same blade without sharpening it all that time. And he says, the reason why is because I never allow difficulty. As soon as it comes to something that's difficult, I find I find the way around it. Like just like water, the water way. And so I was thinking, and then the emperor says, "Oh, I've now I know how to run my country. Like now I know how to live my life." There, he has this
Yeah.
epic epiphany. So, in the exact same way as the Taoist butcher, in your language learning, whether you're in creative mode, learning new words, new grammatical patterns, or whether you're in survival mode on like a Zoom call with someone you've never met before from another country, no matter which mode you're in, no matter what you're doing in your language learning, if you can remember like the principle of the Taoist butcher,
I'm taking notes, yes.
it's difficult sometimes to make this case to people because if you tell them, okay, so you're going to avoid difficulty, they're going to you're going to avoid difficulty. That's no, you'll never improve. You'll never get better. Like for some reason, we've got like maybe it's like a Western Eastern, like they say, it's like the obstacle becomes the way, which there's merit to that too. But it's like oh, you gotta like if you're working out, which we often use working out analogies for language learning, it's like, oh, if you're not like tearing up your muscles, like no pain, no gain.
Yes, dude. Yeah, no, finish your comment. I
Well,
just
I mean, you got it. Like, I mean, you no pain, no gain, minimal effort. They say nature hates effort. Like, there's no effort in nature. Like, nature's never like, oh man, I'm cranking this out, man, cranking this motherfucker out, dude.
whenever the path is getting too rough and I like cannot understand or cannot say something, I practice what I already know and pass the ball to the other side, something like that. Just like
Once difficulty happens, dude, there's no way to calm difficulty. Like imagine there's like mud in a bucket. As soon as you realize that your movement is like causing the mud to rise in the water, there's no amount of movement that you can do to make that stop. The only thing you can do is stop. It's like being caught in a spider web or quicksand. As soon
Quicksand.
as you're caught in quicksand, no amount of movement is going to help you. All movement makes it worse. So that's true, like with the entire Taoist butcher thing.
Yes.
Before the call with Reem yesterday, we talked about, and it's easier said than done. So I understand, but talked about, what you know, like what you can say in Arabic and what you can't. If you know that you can't say that, then don't try. Get it next time. Like take a note. Oh, I need to learn that for next time. That's the positive feedback from that experience. You go, okay, you know what? I just identified something that I don't know how to say, so I'm going to figure out how to say it, and I'll get it next time. In
Yeah.
that moment, I would stick to my routine. There's a bunch of things that you can say in Arabic that Reem never got to see that you can say because you didn't find a creative way to get to that.
But I think it only came to me right now, a lamb, while I'm talking to you, you know? So I realized that I thought I was on creative mode yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
but in fact, it wasn't creative mode at all. Like I wasn't
I
there
know.
to, I was there to survive. I
Yeah.
should have chosen as an OPI instead of
Yeah.
a creative mode with two teachers or something.
Right.
And thinking back now, like, okay, that's why I wanted to say things that I never practiced before because I was trying to learn more things along the way. But I
Right.
should have done that. And I
Right.
understand it.
In a way, creative mode is an abstraction of the true thing. It's like someone saying it's always now, like the power of now, be here now, like stuff like that. Saying it is not the same as being it. And it's the same way with creative mode to survival mode. Survival mode is the now, and creative mode is like, okay, here's like the philosophy of the now. Cool, good philosophy, but it's still not the same as the actual now. One of my favorite like Zen koans is the sound of rain needs no translation.
Hmm, beautiful.